This is a HeadGum podcast.
Ooh, baby, welcome to another episode of Why Won't You Date Me, a podcast where me, Nicole Byer, was trying to figure out why I was so single, even though you could come on my nails and tell me that they're a new version of acrylic powder. My guest today...
Powder?
Yeah, wait till it gets hard. My guest today is a hilarious comedian and actor you know from Fresh Off the Boat and WandaVision. And he's been in films like Ant-Man and the Wasp, Always Be My Maybe, and Aquaman. You can see him now in the new series, It's Florida Man on Max. And I'm so excited he's here. It's Randall Park.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being
Of
here,
course.
Randall. Let's hop right into it.
Yeah.
I like these colors together.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. Just colors.
Did you pick
Yeah.
it out?
I did. This is mine. Bought it.
Do you
A
shop
while
for
ago.
yourself or does your wife, because you have a wife?
Yeah, I do have a wife. No, I shop for myself.
How'd you get one? A wife.
Why? I got my wife at at an audition.
Wait, that's
In
really
an audition
fun.
waiting room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the audition is for? Do you want to say? You don't
Yeah,
have
it
to.
was so there was this British show called Spaced.
Spice.
And yes, Spiced. And they were making an American version called Space.
Space.
Yeah. and we it was just gosh, I was almost 20 years ago. I went into the audition room and saw her sitting there and thought, wow, she's beautiful. But there's backstory. So like a few nights before, I was at a party
Mm-hmm.
and it was kind of this like party fundraiser for this theater company. And I was sitting there and I saw her at the party
Okay.
and our eyes kind of locked.
Mm-hmm.
But she was with a guy. So I was like, oh, that's probably, and we didn't talk or anything like that, but I saw her. And then a few days later, I walk into this waiting room, and she's there, and it's just her.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh my gosh, that's the one at the party, that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an audition, and I was like, I gotta focus on my audition. But it took forever. We were sitting there forever, just us two.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started talking, and we were having a great time just chatting and laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt very kind of natural, which isn't always the case for me. And then they called her in, and I thought, oh my gosh, maybe it was so great. Maybe she'll come back into
Mm-hmm.
the waiting room afterwards to, I don't know, exchange numbers, maybe, or But she didn't. She just left.
She's like, see ya.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, well, that's fine. Whatever. And then a few days later, I see her at another audition.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, this is a sign. This is a sign.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a birthday coming up. I invited her to the birthday party thinking, okay, well, she has a boyfriend. She'll show up with a boyfriend or she won't
Mhm.
show up at all. She shows up by herself. And she stays the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that she didn't have a boyfriend. And we just got along so well. She loved all my friends. And then at the end of the night, another friend wouldn't leave. It was just me, her, and this other friend. The other friend wouldn't leave. And then, and the other friend was like, I was like, guys, I gotta get to bed. It's like super late. But I told her to call me when she gets home.
Mm-hmm.
And then she called me, and then I asked her out on a date. And then we've been together ever since.
Oh, I love that so
Yeah.
much. That is so sweet. So does she feel that she kept seeing you everywhere? What's her side? Do you know?
We had mutual friends.
Mhm.
So I had actually seen her many years before, like do a play, and she had seen me do shows around town, but we never met and we
Mhm.
didn't know each other. So we kind of vaguely knew of each other.
What was your first date?
We went to a movie at the New Art Theater on Pico Boulevard.
Mhm.
It's kind of an independent movie theater, and we just saw. We saw a documentary about
Okay.
breakdancing. and then we went to dinner at a restaurant in Santa Monica, which is near the theater. And then that was it.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
really fucking sweet.
Yeah, it was very sweet. Very
And
sweet.
then how long did you date before you got married?
We dated for 6 months before we got engaged.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So 6 months. And then in those 6 months, when did you say I love you?
Probably like a few weeks into it.
A few weeks into it.
Yeah.
And did she say it back immediately, or were you like left hanging?
No, she said it back immediately. Yeah. What happened was, so I was doing stand up at the time, and I had a show in I think Berkeley or something like that, and we drove together up north. And she was coming with me to do, and we just had the best time on that drive. And I realized, oh my gosh, I'm in love with her. And then I was like, I better do well on this show.
I have to kill.
I have
to do well, otherwise she'll know I'm not funny, and maybe she won't love me.
Exactly. So I was very nervous about that, and I did great. It was a great show. And then on the drive back, when I dropped her off, that's when the I love yous were exchanged.
That's so sweet and romantic. I love it so much.
Yeah.
What was the thing that made you go? So it was the drive, and you had a good time on the drive, and you're like, oh my God, I think I love this person.
Yeah.
So you said, I love you. And then when did you propose? Was that far out?
No, not too long after that. I mean, I don't know, maybe 5 months, a few months after that.
And how did you propose?
It was my birthday, and there was this restaurant that I like in LA, this old steakhouse, and they had this back room, and I invited all my friends in the back room, and I invited her friends too. And the rule was, don't give me any gifts, but I want you to each, if you'd like, to tell a story. So there's a podium there. People were coming up, telling stories about their lives, and it was very great. And then I had planned at the end, I'm going to tell a story about her and how we met and how wonderful it was. And then I was going to propose. And so that's what happened. At the end, I proposed, and it was very sweet.
Oh, I love this. Was she surprised?
She was.
Oh my God. That's so sweet. And it was your birthday, and you said, it's not about me. It's about you.
Yeah. That's right.
Right. I love you. God, that's so fucking sweet. I love it.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. Yeah.
And then you got married on August 29th.
Yes.
Isn't that
right.
funny that I know that?
Yeah, that is funny that you know that. How do you know that?
My assistant did some research. And then the only reason why I remember it is because it's my birthday.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Where did you get married?
We got married at a place in LA. It's this old place near Highland Park, like this old building that I guess they used to have contain like all the electric stuff for the trains, and they gutted it out and turned it into this beautiful like event space. And it was a fairly small wedding, and we got married there.
Do you think your relationship has changed after you got married?
Yeah.
What changes?
It gets better. It got better, I think. I think those first initial years, it was a lot of, adjusting and also kind of confronting things about yourself that you never really, thought about, and some difficult things that are uncomfortable, and just kind of having those things kind of exposed and very vulnerable things that maybe in previous relationships you protected yourself from those sides coming out, and so I would say the first few years were great, but they were also like challenging in a lot of ways. And then it just gets for us, at least, it just got easier and easier, and in a good way.
I like that.
Yeah.
Did you live together before or after you got married?
She moved in after we got engaged.
Okay.
Yeah, but she would not move in unless we got engaged.
I mean, I think that's a good boundary to hold. To be like,
Yeah.
what's the end goal here? What are we actually doing?
Yeah, and I had lived with girlfriends
Mhm.
before, and it felt, I don't know, it just felt kind of different to hear
Mhm.
that from someone. Like, I'm not gonna move in until we get engaged.
I haven't really lived with anyone. I like kind of soft lived with somebody for a little bit.
Yeah.
And that was like a little hard because I was like, oh no, you see me in the mornings when I look terrible. And then you get to see how I cook, which is I don't use a lot of like knives and utensils. I'll like cut things with my mouth, and that's like gross. And I remember he was like, ugh, and you're gonna serve that to both of us? And I was like, but you
What
kissed
do you
me.
mean cut things with your mouth? Like if you're making a stew, you take a raw steak and just
No, not steak. But imagine I'm just like, "Arr, arr." No, like carrots, like I like, and
Oh,
then
yeah,
spit it
yeah.
out.
Oh,
And then I
wow.
like rip things up with my hands. It's
Ye
really fucking gross. It's
I mean,
so
it's
gross.
very, probably that's like a primitive cooking style, like, it it might catch on with the
I'm cooking
with the
like my
kids.
ancestors. How do you like make sure you make time for each other? I feel like a lot of TV shows and in media, it's just like people grow apart because they don't spend time together and they don't like
Yeah.
appreciate each other.
Um, I think we're both similar in the sense that we are not like, I don't know, we're very simple people in a way. Like, we like being at home, and we
Mhm.
like, we have a daughter too, and
Mhm.
that,
Do you guys like her?
love her. I'm crazy about her.
How old is she?
She's 12.
Oh,
Yeah,
12.
she's 12.
Okay,
Yeah.
and she's still cool?
She's the best.
I feel like once you hit like 13, 14, you kind of become an asshole, but not
Yeah,
her?
yeah. Well, she's on the autism spectrum.
Mhm.
And so in a way she feels kind of younger than she is,
Mhm.
and she's just like pure joy.
Ugh, I
Yeah.
love that.
So that helps too, like with us, because we're all kind of, and she loves home too. And so we're
Mhm.
all just like, we love home.
Just 3 people who love being at
Yeah,
home.
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
older I get, the more I'm like, home is nice.
Home is the
Why am I
best.
leaving my home? To
Yeah.
do what? To have a shitty dinner somewhere? To like see awful people be loud and stuff?
I know.
Oh my
Dinner's
God.
cut with like actual cutlery. Like, that's like
I went to dinner the other night and the host, I was like, oh, we're meeting people. And he was like, who? And I gave the name and he was like, I don't see it. And I was like, you don't see either of those 2 names I gave you? And he's like, no, I see them right here. And I was like, okay. And then he was like, how are you? And I was like, good. How are you? And he went,
Uh-huh.
oh,
Oh,
I'm
no.
great.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my God, has nobody asked this man how he was today? And then the walk from the host stand to the table was, I don't know, 36 steps, but this man told me so much. And I was like, I could be at home not talking to you.
That's right.
You're
That's
being
right.
so strange. I just feel like I get out in the world and everyone's just a fucking weirdo,
That's
Randall.
the case. That is
My
the case.
God.
Yeah, yeah. Home, home, there's control,
There is control
Yeah.
at home. How
Yeah.
do you deal with working on like location? Do you bring your family with you or?
Yeah, no. I mean, it depends on how long I'm gone for. But if I'm gone for a long time, they'll come for a bit. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And if it's like a short thing, then
Then you
they,
say, stay asshole. Y'all
yeah.
love home so
I mean, that's
much.
also the advantage of being with another actor, is because like
Mhm.
she totally gets it, and so when she goes off, it's like sometimes I'll make the trip for a little bit and then come back,
Mhm.
yeah, we figure it out.
I like it. It seems like in your relationship there's a lot of like give and take and meeting each other halfway.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's I mean that every relationship, I would think, is
Yeah.
yeah.
I saw The Joker too. Did you?
No.
I keep talking about this movie. And what I took away from it was Harley Quinn said, meet me halfway. And then the Joker did, but then he didn't. And she was like, I have to leave you.
That's it.
And I was like, this is relationships.
Yeah.
So like the halfway is we're both crazy. And if one of you doesn't want to be crazy, you got to get out. And I was like, wow, this is really deep.
Oh, wait, you're in a relationship now? Or
I am dating someone right now.
Okay, wait. I said you're in a relationship right now. You said I am dating someone right now.
I'm dating someone
Dating
right
is
now.
less of a commitment than a relationship.
Well, it is a relationship.
Okay.
He is my boyfriend.
Okay.
I don't know. He's not an actor and he's not in the industry. So like I've been trying to be kind about what I say about him or just careful.
Yes.
But he is my boyfriend and he's really great and he's really nice and he meets me halfway a lot.
Okay.
Which is nice. Like we just had a conversation about like scheduling and I was like, oh shit, I'm not leaving enough room to see you. Like when I'm in town, I'm like, oh, I gotta hang out with my friends. Blah, 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 blah. But it's like, but also he's a person. And yes, he has a life, but also it's like we're trying to build something together.
Yes.
So I have to remember that like I need to leave days to see him.
Yes.
Otherwise, like what are we doing?
And you guys don't live together.
No.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah.
And that's scary to me. Living with someone is really, really scary because they don't go home. Because their home is your home.
Yeah.
And that freaks me out so much.
Yes. Yeah. That's a big deal.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, how do you deal with stinky shits?
Yeah. We deal with it. We laugh about it.
But then in my head, I'm like, but what if he doesn't like me anymore because my shits are so stinky? Which is an unhinged thing to think, but I do think about that a lot.
Has that happened yet, though?
Not yet.
Yeah.
I hide them.
Like in the backyard? Like you
carry them out in a bowl and I go, this bowl's not for anything. Don't worry. And then I dig and then I dump it in there.
Yeah.
No, I just I have a lot of air fresheners and incense that I use.
But when he sees air fresheners hanging all around the house, he's
like, what's going on? And I'm like, just keeping it fresh. Don't worry. Well, we did have a conversation. We went away together and I was like, hey, everybody poops. I did the most insane thing. I like cornered him and I said, everybody poops. You poop, I poop, we all poop. And I have these incense that you can use when you poop. And I'll use them when I poop and we won't know the poop's happening. I don't know what I thought was going to happen. He just said, okay.
I think what you're going through is what all relationships, long-lasting, healthy relationships go through.
Mm-hmm.
There is that period like, oh my gosh, how am I going to shit?
Yes.
How am I going to fart? Am I going to,
Yes. And I don't think I have farted in front of him yet, but I learned I fart in my sleep.
Oh, there you go.
So
yeah,
I might have farted in my sleep, but I haven't asked him yet. I do snore sometimes, but he was like, you haven't really snored. And I was like, maybe you're being kind. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's like, when you live with someone, you have to do all these humiliating things. You got to poop. You have to sleep. You have to like be gross. Sometimes I'm gross in my house.
Be human. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't want to be human.
No, I don't. I want to be this like perfect thing. And I'm not. I'm
Do you
simply
think
not.
that the scheduling issue is related to this fear of being human, like in a way? Because it's like less time, the more the less a chance he has to see
yes.
Yeah.
I also think it stems from everyone I've ever dated. In the beginning, I'm like, I'm my own woman. I have my own life. I have my own schedule and I'll fit you in when I can, as opposed to like, okay, well, now you know me. I know you. I like you. You like me. Let me just learn how to adapt my schedule so it's like we don't go weeks without seeing each other when I'm in town.
Yeah.
And that has been hard because I'm like, I do want to hang out with my friends. And then like you'll see Instagram videos that are like, you need to be your own woman.
Yes.
You need to have your own life. A man cannot be your whole life. And it's like, sure. But like,
has he met your friends?
Yeah.
And do your friends like him? That's like the huge thing.
Yes.
Okay, that's great.
My friends like him. I like his friends. That's all been like really great.
That's great.
It's truly just me being like, okay, I was away for a week, so now I'm back in town. So now instead of like catching up with friends, I should be catching up with him.
You know what you should do? You should take a big shit in the toilet, leave it, don't flush it, write a long note that says, "Hey, this is the real me. This is the human me. I love you, and I want you to see this, and I want you to accept it and love me back. And if you could love me back, then I will definitely be canceling a lot of appointments with my friends."
I simply don't think I could. That truly terrifies me. Oh my God, that simply, I'm like,
Yeah, that's
I
too much. No,
cannot
that is too
formulate a
much.
sentence about how scary that is.
As I was saying it, I was like, this is a bad idea. But you get the point.
I do get the point.
Yeah.
There was once where we both had tummy aches and I was like, did you shit? And then he was like, sure did. And I said, okay. He's like, did you? And I was like, you're not going to trick me. And he was like, what are you talking about? I was like, you're not going to trick me because you're going to be less attracted to me if I tell you what happened. And I'm not going to tell you what happened.
Yeah, when I first started dating my wife, this is that period where you're kind of figuring yourself out, and we were learning about each other, and I had learned that she had briefly dated another guy and this guy was like this famous guy. And it filled me with like insecurity, because this guy was a very handsome, successful guy, and I was just like this broke actor, and I was like, oh my God, why is she with me? And I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was like, God, because I loved her, I loved her, and I wanted her to love me, and I questioned whether she really loved me. Like, what is she doing with me? And and I remember just kind of I just couldn't stop obsessing over this. And one day I was driving down Pico Boulevard and I see a billboard and it's with him on it. And it's yeah, and he's looking all heroic. Like and in the billboard, he's literally like hanging off the side of a helicopter. And I'm like, oh my God, that's him. I drive down another few blocks. It's the same billboard again. And for the next, he had the show coming out. And it was this constant reminder like, oh my God, I'm just this broke actor. And here's this like very successful, handsome leading man guy that she was with. And now she's with me, and it just kept making me feel so insecure. And I really wanted to be the perfect leading man for her. I wanted to be this like ideal guy for her. But, just thinking about and literally seeing in front of me constantly
man hanging out of a helicopter.
Yeah. And it really stressed me out. And then one day I was in the bathroom and I was brushing my teeth and this gets a little weird, but we'll come back to it. And I would gargle the water and it would just kind of fall out the side of my face. I couldn't keep it in my mouth. And I looked at my face and I had half my face was like drooping. And I was like, what is going on with me?
Wait, that's wild.
Yeah. I couldn't control half of my face. Went to the doctor. They were like, oh, you have this thing called Bell's palsy. And it's fairly common. For some people it goes away. For some it never goes away.
And Bell's palsy is
You basically
paralyzed.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
it's like a paralysis. And I was like, how does this happen? And he was like, well, have you been stressed? And I was like, oh no, I haven't been stressed.
Me, no. I drive around. It's great. I see nothing.
But I could, because of that, I couldn't audition. I couldn't do. I was just like, I couldn't be an actor. I couldn't even try to be that guy on the billboard, and it just kind of sent me into this, oh my God, existential crisis. And here I was in love with this woman and I was questioning whether she loved me. And then, and during that period, she was just so great to me. She was just so like caring and just there for me. And it just kind of all of those doubts kind of slowly start to melt away, and I just realized, oh my gosh, he does love me, and I stopped even thinking about that other stuff. It
Oh.
just it almost was like the universe's way of saying, like, hey, look what you
Mm-hmm.
have in front of you,
Yes.
and stop obsessing about being this perfect human being for her,
Don't look a gift horse in the
in
face or something?
I don't, yeah,
Is
something like,
it's kind of like that? It's
I
like,
don't, yeah.
you have this, be nice?
Yes, yes, yes. I don't, I never, I don't know what
I
that
don't know.
saying means.
I don't
Yeah.
know either. But I get that. I sometimes, not sometimes, every time I date somebody, I'd like to go through their Instagram and see who else they've dated and then compare myself to them, which is not healthy.
Not healthy.
But sometimes I'm like, oh, yeah, he could just date an easier person. He could date somebody who's more normal than me.
But yeah, it's probably the reason why he's with you, right? It's because you're fun and you're different and
Yeah, I think so. I hope
yeah.
so. I simply don't know. Randall, real quick, we have to take a break.
Okay.
This podcast is presented by Essie Nail Polish. It's time to treat yourself. Life can be hectic. Dating, work, just trying to survive out there. And honestly, nothing makes me feel more put together than a fresh manicure. Check out Essie Nail Polish. It's high quality, gorgeous, and they have a color for every mood and aesthetic. Whether you're getting ready for a date or just having a little self-care night, a fresh coat of polish always adds that extra boost of confidence. It's a reminder that even if my life might be messy, at least my nails look fire! Whether you're treating yourself to a DIY manicure or heading to the salon, Essie's got you covered. I'm planning to get some Essie nail polish for my friends this holiday. I love picking out colors that match their personalities. It's for friends who are always dating around. I think cherry mocha. It's bold. It's a little spicy. It's just like her. Shop Essie nail polish for the holidays in store, Target, Ulta, CVS, all the stores you already shop at, and online at your preferred Essie retailer. This show is sponsored by Betterhelp. How do you like to get comfortable during the holidays? My favorite way is being wrapped up all cozy on my couch watching my favorite TV show, which is 90 Day Fiancé. For some people, the best part of December is snuggling up in a blanket, sipping on some hot chocolate, and watching movies with your family. Like, who doesn't love a good cozy night in? And guess what? Therapy is a great way to bring yourself some comfort that never goes away, even when the season changes. Real talk, therapy is a tool for everybody, single or in a relationship, and it's helped me to figure out how to communicate, set boundaries, and stop stressing over stuff that literally doesn't matter. Trust me, a little self-work goes a long way, no matter where you are in your love life. If you're thinking about starting therapy, why not try BetterHelp? It's all online, super easy, flexible, and suited for your schedule. You just go online and fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge, which is super important because finding a therapist is a little bit like dating. Find comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/dateme today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/dateme. Bebop, boobop, bop, 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 bop. We're back. Boy, I'm always having fun. Before you were married, what's one of the worst dates you've been on?
Worst dates I've been on?
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh. Uh I didn't date too often. I was
No?
like a long-term relationship guy,
Okay.
I mean, there were like little kind of experiences and
Mm-hmm.
maybe some dates, but I was always like, I'd meet someone and we'd connect, and then next thing you know, we were together for the next 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of the pattern.
Like even in high school and stuff? Did you date in high school?
No,
Me
no,
either.
I didn't. I wanted to.
Me too.
Yeah,
Real bad.
yeah, I wanted to, but I didn't. But I did have a high school girlfriend, a
Oh,
senior year.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, and we were together, and it was great.
What
She
kind
was
of
great.
person were you in high school? Were you like a footballer or like a theater person or a
No, I
band?
wasn't. No, I wasn't a theater person. Not. I played volleyball, which wasn't the coolest of sports,
No, I
but
like it. That makes me very happy. Indoor volleyball, come on.
but I was. I wouldn't say I wasn't popular. I mean, I was. I got along with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I kind of existed in all the different groups, I think. Or I'd
Okay.
like to think. Yeah. And my girlfriend at the time, this was this was in 92. And we were senior year. We we were This was in 92. This was during the riots in LA.
Ah, Rodney King.
Yes, during the riots in LA. And I don't, you probably weren't even born at the time, but there was a lot of like tension between like Koreans and Black folks.
Mm-hmm.
And she was Black and I was Korean and we were this couple. So at the
And
time
you were healing the world.
we are like the symbol for unity in these tumultuous times. But we were together into college, and then we broke up because we became long distance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Long distance is fucking hard.
it's hard.
People who can make it work, I am like, more power to you.
Yes.
But I feel like the majority of them don't work out. I was watching this show on Max, and I think it was called Never Have I Met Him or something. I don't know. It was a wild name for a show, but it was all people who had been in long distance relationships who met for the first time in this house all together.
Oh my gosh!
And
yeah,
it was just like everyone had so much. Like there was one couple where the guy had been with this woman for like 11 years, and in those 11 years had other children. And he's like, "But I've never cheated on you." And I was like, "Wait." Wait, what? And she was like, "He's never cheated." And I was
Oh my
like, the
God.
cognitive dissonance you need to have to stay in this is so wild to me.
Yeah.
It's so wild.
Yeah, long distance. I always advise against it.
Yeah, I don't think I could.
Yeah, I can't believe those. Like when people get married and one of them is in prison.
Yes.
and then I mean, if the person does get out and then they have to live together,
Yes.
like
It's like, I don't actually know you.
yeah.
They probably cook the way I do. That's pretty wild.
And they're used to just shitting and everybody, experiencing that shit.
But you can date in prison. I was watching this like documentary, and you can tell the person underneath you that you're going to flush your toilet. And if they like flush at the same time, you can send them things.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that wild?
That's romantic.
Isn't that nice? It's like, my toilet gift is coming.
Yeah, that's kind of beautiful, actually.
But it is wild to date some. Okay, so prisoners, people in jail people. What's the PC way to say someone who's in jail? An incarcerated person.
Incarcerated. Yeah.
I sometimes, and by sometimes, once every like month, someone who's incarcerated will reach out to me to talk to me. And every time it happens, I go, okay.
Yeah.
And I accept it. And then they delete me. And I'm like, but why? Why did you want to talk to me? And then you don't want to talk to me now. And it feels like Bumble. Like, because you'll reach out to someone, they'll talk back, and then they go away.
That's it. That's odd.
Isn't it?
Do you think maybe they're not supposed to be reaching out and maybe
No, they can. It's like it's called core links. You can, if you have someone's email address, you can reach out and then request them to speak to them. And then I think they get approved and then you can start communicating.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know why they cut it off.
I don't know. Maybe
it's mean.
What if they got in trouble or something, and then did they get that taken away from them?
Maybe, but how every time, Randall? Every single time,
maybe you inspire them to maybe through that.
Like, I'm gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
it's mean.
Yeah.
And I was at the haunted hayride over the weekend, and a spooky ook, someone who is like all dressed up. They were like looking at me and they were like doing something. And I was like, oh my God, what are you like flirting with me? And then they went away. And I was like, okay, I guess you really weren't flirting with me. And then they came back and went and wagged their finger at me. And I was like, oh, I don't need to be like fully rejected. I was kidding. And then I was really upset about it. And then a friend was like, well, maybe they didn't want you to say that. And then like, maybe their superior heard it and they didn't want to get in trouble for flirting with people. And I was like, you made up a whole story. I think he was just rejecting me.
That's so odd.
Isn't that mean?
Yeah,
It was really scary.
that's odd. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Hey, thank you.
Sorry you went through that.
Thank you so much. I just really wanted that spooky person to really hit on me. I feel so good about my life. Randall, can I tell you about this? I was hit on a couple weeks ago by a garbage man. He didn't really say anything. It was just the look. And I'm trying to time my walks with my dog to meet the garbage man because no, I don't want to act on it. I just want to go for a ride in a garbage truck.
Oh my God,
Have
yeah.
you been in a garbage truck?
I've never, but that
I
sounds
feel
like
like
fun.
a lot of us haven't.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the cable cars in San Francisco, right?
Oh,
It's
I've
like
never
all
been in
day.
one. That
But you
seems
could,
like
I think you
fun.
could just kind of hop on.
Wait,
and
you
hang
can?
off. I don't know. I mean, that's how I envision it in my head.
Huh. I would like to do that too.
Yeah.
I just want to get on several modes of transportation.
I think garbage, not garbage person. What's the
A trash man?
trash man?
No.
Waste
Waste
management.
management.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
A waste
good.
management connoisseur.
Yeah. I think being a waste management connoisseur must be like the best job.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like you're free
And they get
most
paid
of the
really
day.
well.
And you work one day. Wait. No,
No,
you
I
work
think you're
several
working.
days a week.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about my story.
I mean, that would be really cool if you're just in charge of one block, you know?
I can't believe I truly just thought everyone's trash gets picked up on Thursdays.
Yeah,
Boy,
but that
oh
would
boy.
be, yeah, I mean, if you were single and that happened, I'd
Yeah,
say
I
go
think
for
I would
it.
go for it.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just going to ask him if I can go for a ride. What do you think he's going to, do you think he'll do it? Do you think he'll take me?
What vibe do you get from the flirty look? Like, is there a...
He seemed really friendly.
Okay.
And then the man in the front waved because I waved at him.
Oh.
And because there's two of them, one on the back, one in the front.
Okay. I think that they might know you. They might recognize you from TV.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
That didn't even occur to me.
And if that's the case, you'll get a ride.
Oh my God. I truly hope so.
Yeah.
And I hope he lets me hang on the back.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The thought of this is really making me so excited. Like I want to ride in the front and I want to ride in the back, but the back is pretty stinky.
Yeah.
It was it was
guess.
tough.
Yeah, that's my guess.
Like even after they were gone, I was like, oh my God, the smell is haunting me.
That's probably the only bad thing about that job.
Yeah, you probably go home and you're a little stinky.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if they have showers at the center.
At the waste
management center?
Connoisseur center.
Randall, what's the most romantic date you've been on?
Romantic date. The most romantic date.
Or the most romantic thing you've ever done?
This was way back in the day. I had a date with this woman who was my girlfriend at the time, and I was in college, and I used to go to this. There was this jazz club in LA that I really loved, and I would go there. And I saw Prince there one day, which is crazy.
Did he perform?
No, he was just sitting he was like literally. I turned and he was sitting right next to me, and I was like, "Oh my God, Prince is sitting next to me."
Did you talk to Prince?
No, I was just like, he was in his sunglasses, just like kind of just listening. And then I turned and like before the end of the show, I turned back. He was gone. It was pretty special.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. She always wanted to go to that club, but then that club closed down, right? And so I had a friend who was in a jazz band, and I had them. So I lived at home with my parents at the time. I had moved back home, but my parents weren't at home. And I had converted the living room into a little jazz club. Yeah. And had my friends,
cute.
had my friends play, and had other friends just sitting at tables, and it was very like an episode of The Cosby Show.
It would be funny if your parents had come home and been like, "That's the party." This is the kind of party you're having? All right, we're not worried.
Oh yeah, it was very very chill. But she really enjoyed that. I remember.
God, that's so sweet. I love that so much. It sounds like you're very thoughtful when it comes to your relationships.
I don't know. I'd like to think so. Yeah.
Do you think that's like an unconscious thing, or are you like, oh, I need to be thoughtful. I want to do something thoughtful.
I think it's a an unconscious thing, or
Mm-hmm.
it's something that I was kind of, as a kid, I was like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I grew up, at least in my house, getting constant rejection from
Ah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
I would always try to like give my parents like certain things or do
Mm-hmm.
certain things, and they'd always kind of be very critical of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh so that made me like kind of want to get uh approval,
Yes, like a
you
little bit
know.
of validation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like my life is in some ways has been about kind of getting people to, approve of these
Mm-hmm.
gestures. A little bit of that in the background there.
I try to be thoughtful, but a lot of times it's thoughtful to me, but not thoughtful to the other person. I gave my boyfriend a Knuckles keychain or not Knuckles, a Shadow keychain from Sonic because I love Sonic. And I was like, surely you want this.
I do that too, though, with gifts. I do feel like gifts should reflect the person
Yes.
giving. Uh, because then you're like giving a part of yourself,
Hmm.
right? Uh, I don't know about a Sonic
It was
thing, but
bad. It was a bad gift. And I was so excited to give it
that's
to
a
him.
very specific
It's
thing.
very specific to me.
Yeah.
But I do like clothing is a good gift I found
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I love clothes
Yeah.
and I'm good at picking out clothes for other people.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
like, oh, that's like a nice, like I do that with friends too. Like if I'm at a flea market or something, I'll like take a picture and be like, do you like this? Do you want
Yeah, yeah,
this?
that's very sweet. Yeah.
That's how I've learned how to be thoughtful, but still making myself happy because I love buying
But do
clothes.
you also do you give clothes that like you think, oh, uh like if you're giving a guy something, is it
Hmm.
like, oh, if I was a guy, I would like
No.
this? Okay.
No, I will buy things that are, like, color specific that I know that they like,
Yeah.
or I've seen you in this, or, like, you said that you liked what,
Okay.
like,
Yeah,
somebody
that's
else
very
is
thoughtful.
wearing,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, "Ooh, that means you don't have it, so then I'll get that for you."
Yes, that's very
So, yeah,
sweet.
that's what I try to be thoughtful that way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's very thoughtful.
It's hard to be thoughtful because I just want you
So
to have things I want you to have.
so you're saying you're thoughtful to your friends,
Yeah.
but you're not very thoughtful to your boyfriend.
Well, I buy him clothes.
Oh, you buy him clothes.
Yes, I'll
Oh,
buy
got it.
him stuff in
But
the
you also
colors
got
that
him the
he liked.
Sonic
I
thing.
did. I did. And he was like, "Cool."
Yeah, I
Ah,
try to, I get my wife a lot of gifts, and I kind of do both.
what's one of the last things you bought that you're like, "I want you to have this?"
Well, she's really into like handbags.
Mhm.
So I got her gosh, what was the last one I got her was a Prada handbag. Yeah.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
nice. You can't go wrong with designer.
Yeah, but it
Ugh.
also is one that I actually really liked, and like I would wear this. I would actually probably wear it. Like it was a beautiful brown suede Prada. Yeah.
Ooh, that's nice. Well, why don't you get yourself one too? Do you carry purses?
No, I don't carry
Why
purses.
not? It'll
Uh,
change your life. My friend Gabrus now has, like, this little fanny pack, and then sometimes he's got, like, a crossbody bag, and he's like, "Yeah, I put all my stuff in it." And I was like,
yeah, yeah,
"Yeah,
yeah.
that's what."
I wear a backpack
Oh,
sometimes.
okay.
Yeah, and then some. Yeah, sometimes I'll like walk around with a tote.
I think more men should have totes and bags
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
I put a lot of stuff in my bag for men, and I'm like, "But if you just had a tote or a
yeah.
purse,
It's so practical.
it's
It's
very
just yeah,
practical,
yeah.
and you can express yourself." Oh my gosh. Randall, do you have any advice for single people?
Advice for single people.
Mhm.
Well, I feel like people have generally, and I'm talking about my friends who
Mm-hmm.
are single, have too many criteria,
Ah.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
too many criteria. And a lot of my friends who were single, who found somebody and are happy with that person, w- a lot of that list of
Mm-hmm.
criteria isn't checked off by the person that they eventually find. So I think it helps to let go of that
Mm-hmm.
list and just be very open-minded. I mean, sure, there are some things that might be
Yeah. Non-negotiables.
non-negotiable, but things like uh I don't know, appearance related
Mm-hmm.
things, I feel like people should be a little more loose with that stuff.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you might just really vibe with someone that you're like, oh, I've never thought I was attracted to this type of person.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, I feel like sometimes those things are there for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to be with a really like I don't know, a woman with blonde hair. Like she
Mm-hmm.
has to be blonde. It's like
She doesn't
why
have
does
to
she
be
have to be
blonde.
blonde?
She can
What?
always dye her hair. You can force her to dye her hair.
or like height,
Uh-huh.
like I get it. You want to feel I don't know, protected or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it be, but you could protect yourself.
Yeah, protect yourself. I used to really want to be with a super tall person, but then I realized I have bad depth perception.
Oh gosh,
So
yeah. Yeah, you get dizzy every time.
no, I
You
don't get dizzy. I just think I'm taller than everybody.
oh.
Is that not depth perception?
I don't
Am
I
I,
don't know. I thought you meant like
wait, what is
yeah.
depth? Am I using that wrong?
I don't know. What is
I think depth perception is like how far away something is from what you're seeing.
Oh, then what is it called when you think you're taller than everyone? Is that narcissism?
That's called narcissism. Yeah.
I truly think I'm taller than everybody. I dated someone who was 6'3", and we got into constant arguments because I'd be like, I'm taller than you. And he was like, that's fundamentally not possible. And then like we'd be outside and I'd be like, look, right now I'm like looking down at you. And he's like, you're on a hill. And I'm like,
and
okay.
I'm sitting. Yeah.
But like my butt is big. So when we were sitting, sometimes I was taller than him. And I'd be like, look at the picture. I'm taller than you here.
I mean, I think that might be not a bad thing to have confidence. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I thought I was taller than my boyfriend until we walked past a window and I was like, oh, he is taller than me. And I'm in like platforms. I was like, okay, this is weird. And then when I told him, he was like, wait, what? He's like, I'm currently looking down at you. And I was like,
He's like, I'm 6'7". What are you talking? Wait, so your current boyfriend, sounds like you guys are very happy.
I do. Yes, I really like him.
And I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
But are there things about him that that aren't, or like in terms of your criteria before him? Are there things about him that are different? Like,
yeah, I thought like I thought I'd end up with someone taller. He is taller than me, but I thought I'd end up with someone who's like really, really tall, like like a real BFG, if you remember the Roald Dahl book.
I'm confused. What?
Roald Dahl? You don't know Roald Dahl?
Oh, Roald Dahl. Okay.
It just meant, I'm confused. I simply don't know what you're talking about, which happens a lot. Okay, so Roald Dahl wrote a lot of children's books.
Yes.
And he wrote one called the BFG, which is the Big Friendly Giant.
Oh,
so
yes.
I thought I'd end up with a BFG, a Big Friendly Giant.
Yes.
And yeah, I guess. But it also,
Now, when you first met your boyfriend before you were together, were you like, oh, he's like shorter than I like, or was that not even a thought?
No, it was like a non-starter. Because he had his height on his profile. And then when I saw him, I was like, oh, he's very, very cute. And then he started talking and I was like, oh, he's interesting, I think. And then, then I like left our date early because I was like, I'm mysterious. I'm not mysterious. Like, I don't know why I pretend like I was just like, I have to go. He was like, oh, okay. And I was like, and it had been like 3 hours. So it was like, yeah, we all have to go home.
Right. So you're still thinking of like, I gotta be like, like perfect in a way.
Yes,
Like
trying
yeah.
very, very hard. And then he was like, I didn't think you liked me in the beginning. And I was like, oh, I just didn't know you. But now that I know you, I'll never leave you alone. I love texting at all times. Texting the dumbest shit too. I'll be like, I have a thought. And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Did you, when you met your wife, was there things that you were like, oh, I thought I'd end up with this, but I didn't end up with?
She's Korean
Mm-hmm.
and I'm Korean.
Yes.
And I never thought I'd be with a Korean woman.
Why?
Because I never had been with a Korean woman.
I see.
And my parents really wanted me to be with a Korean woman. Therefore, I could not be with a Korean woman.
But then you ended up making them happy.
I did.
They were like, this is the gift we wanted.
But yeah, I'd never been with a Korean woman. She had never been with a Korean guy before. And it was just like, it just totally worked, you know. And I'm not saying that that's like, you know, you must be with your own race.
No, that's what I'm hearing. Stick to your own kind.
But that, you know, that was something that was like, oh, this is, you know, I didn't expect, but was great. I didn't think I'd be with an actor. I'd never be with I mean, you always hear, don't be with another person, and you know,
yes.
And but it just, I think for us at least makes it so much easier, you know. Yeah.
Do you have any advice for? Wait, how long have you guys been together? You've been together for a solid amount of time.
Yes, 17 years now, 18 years.
Yeah, that's a long fucking time.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for longevity in a relationship?
Well, I don't know if this is advice, but I do think it's a sign of a good relationship that can last is if you laugh. I mean, that's like cliche, but
no, it's not. I've been on dates where there is no laughter happening.
Oh, really?
Or the only laughter is from me being like, well, I'll make myself laugh. So
yeah, that's not good.
No,
that's not good. But you know, when you're with each other after 10 years, 12 years, you know, 15 years, it's like you want that to still be there, you know, to make my wife's really funny, so we're always laughing in the house. What else?
Hold on. Do you think this joke is funny? My boyfriend doesn't. Okay, so say it is you saw someone at the end of December and then you see them again like January 3rd and you're like, I haven't seen you since last year. Do you think that's funny?
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah.
He was like, it's not a joke. And I was like, it is a
joke. I think the way you're describing it is really funny. If you were to have done it in real time with me, I may have been like your boyfriend. Like, what? Wait, what?
Okay, keep going.
But that's another thing. It's like he clearly allows you to be you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's like you gotta be just yourself. You can't be like insecure about like. Well, I mean, you're not quite there yet because you're still not.
I simply won't poop. No poops happen here. No poop zone.
Oh yeah, but you don't live together. So when you live together, that's going to be a real challenge. You're gonna have to run to the Starbucks.
I mean, yeah, I do live close to a Starbucks. That would be so wild if I left every time I had to shit. He's like, so you're just never home? I'm like, I just shit. I got Starbucks again. Wait, what was so laughter and then what's
laughter? Just being yourselves, you know. And being free to be yourselves. And then this is all, you know, everyone knows this. It's giving each other space to do your thing and to grow. You know, got to grow together, but you should also be able to grow apart as well. You know.
I think those are good.
Simple.
It's nice and simple.
Yeah. It's all simple. It's all very simple, I think.
Which is funny because I don't think it's simple at all. I think relationships are so complicated. It's so hard to get somebody. It's so hard to be like, I like you. It's so hard to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Vulnerability is very tough for me.
Oh my gosh.
I would
Yeah.
rather die than tell someone how I feel. Like truly just like drive off a cliff and be like, hey, I like spending time with you. But I'm trying to get better at that. Like I tell him all the time, I'm like, I like spending time with you. And I'm sure he knows that, but like I just want to make sure he knows.
Yes, yes.
But also maybe it's just me who needs reassurance. And I'm like, do you like spending time with me? Do you like me? You like me, right? I'm nice.
Do you do it though because I'm picturing you saying I like spending time with you at like a funeral or something like in the most like not like, do you do it in a setting where it's like, sweet and romantic and you're looking at him and you're like, hey, I like spending time, or are you like just kind of randomly spurting it out?
It's kind of random, but a lot of the times he'll drop me off and then he'll be like, all right, good night. And I'm like, kiss good night. And then I'll look at him and go, I like spending time with you. Bye.
And then you'll run in the house and take a shit.
Like, oh, that was a close one.
I think that's sweet. I think you guys will work.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
He did say to me once, no one yells at me as often as you do, but it's not mad yelling. It's just nice yelling. I just love raising my voice. And then he was like, yell at me for real. And I can't yell. I don't know how to like yell mad.
Yeah. Well, have you guys gotten into a fight?
Not a real one.
Yeah.
We've just had like miscommunications where I say something and he says something and I'm fully not listening. And I'm like, no, this. And he's like, yes, I understand what you're saying, but this is what I'm saying. And I'm like, yeah, but what about what I said?
Oh, I have a question. Have you gotten into a fight in any relationship? Like,
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I dated one person where we were fighting by like the second month. And I said, I better stay in this long. I better
this feels right.
really stay here. I'm not right about a single thing. And you're very opinionated. I'm going to stay right where I am. Yeah. But this is nice because like, it's just, we talk and it's very strange.
Yes. That's good.
Blows my mind.
Yeah.
Randall.
That's good. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have come to the end.
Aww.
Is there anything that you want to promote?
No.
Yes, you do. Florida Man is out on Max. Right. If you like this episode of Why Won't You Date Me, you can like it, you can rate it, you can subscribe, give me 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And if you write me something nasty hitting on me, and we are running low, so please submit to whywontyoudatemepodcast@gmail.com. I will read it. Nicole, I want you to chase me through a mall. And then I'm naked and super hard and my boner is slapping back and forth like a broken Atari joystick. Wow, specific. When I run and my balls are so full of semen, is that where it's stored? That it's hard to run fast and I duck into a sharper image. And you find me hiding and the hand warmers, what? Oh, you find me hiding behind the hand warmers and my swollen balls are so scared because they don't want to be drained. And then I scream, but then you zap me with a laser and I wake up shrink wrapped to a table naked like in Dexter. Only it's you. Oh, and you rub your wet puss all over my balls and cock and they explode over my shrink wrap body. And my balls aren't scared anymore, but they are empty. And then everyone sees us and they get real horny. And one of the employees asks us to leave because we're still in a sharper image. And then you buy me a really nice airplane neck pillow that has Bluetooth earbuds in it. I didn't know neck pillows had Bluetooth.
Yeah, I didn't know. That's pretty cool.
You learn something new every day. Randall, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
That was a HeadGum podcast.